you still in love with him?
Oh, I was crazy about Frank Catania. I was so in love with this was it for me because you grow up and he was so good looking and I was from the area. He had muscles and we built a life together and he was not because he was in a ton like he I never felt less than in our marriage, no matter what, because he knew that a big part of our success was me working 3 jobs in the beginning to help become what we became.
Right.
So he never put me down in that aspect ever a day. He never acted better than me, which some men will do. I've noticed later on in life. But so that was but I was crazy about him for him. We were together every day for like 10 years. There was never a vacation without each other. There was no girls' nights. Remember back then you didn't have friends. You had sisters and you had family.
Yeah.
There was no girls' night in my world. And there still isn't. My old school girlfriends from high school. There's no such thing as Thursday nights out with their girlfriends. They don't do that.
Wow.
So I had not one friend. I had not one friend. So other than, my girlfriends, but no one knew how to handle my situation.
Right.
I had to be the pioneer of going through this on my own.
Yeah, even getting the investigator I thought is brilliant.
Yeah, the investigator was major. That's like it's your closure that you need to know that like you did everything and that he still didn't care.
Right. I had to exhaust all possibilities because I knew once I faced this that here's what it was. The situation in my house was so bad and I was so upset and sick every day that there was no way I could live like that, that was worse than me divorcing and like a baby jumping in a pool that never knew how to swim. Like I knew this was what my life would be. I had to start. I didn't even know what I was in for. I hadn't, I wasn't in charge of the money. I didn't know how to do business. I worked in a jail. I was a sheriff's officer. I was a waitress with my mom,
How long did you guys separate right away or did you divorce right away or how long did that take to all happen?
He tried to come back I had Frankie.
Girl, they always do. Okay? They always do.
With a broken heart, like I could have died. Like I can talk every single person that goes through this, every emotion. You walk the floors at night. Weekends are hard. You get through the day with the kids, but it was a horrible thing. So now he leaves that night and he comes back like a week later and he goes, listen, let me come back and don't ask me where I am or what I'm doing. This will all phase out with this girl. I said, I can't accept that. I can't. Now here I am with a colicky baby and a 3-year-old, and I'm devastated on the floor. Like I can't breathe. So my mother thought I was going to die. And I was like, as bad as I was, I still thought enough of myself to say, I don't want that life.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I'll figure it out. But no, I can't accept that. So then he tried to come back and says, I'm not with her anymore. I'm not with her. So now he takes all my money off of me. I can't hire anything. I'm saying to myself, I'm not letting this guy back. And he's telling me he's not with her. But I feel like he is, my gut. And he would come over every day, in and out. He went to live with a friend, pat the kids on the head and leave. And I still wanted to be with them. Trust me when I tell you I still want to. I'm not going to lie.
It was hard.
No, I wasn't going to be. No, I felt ugly. I felt horrible. I felt, did I not do the right thing? Did I not do what this girl did? I mean, and she was a dirt fucking bag.
It's never about you. It's never about you. Yeah.
It wasn't about the looks. She couldn't shine my shoes.
Yeah.
In any sense of the word. And here I am saying, are my clothes not cool enough? Am I not?
Yeah, you compare yourself.
There was nothing. But back then, I didn't feel like anything. I felt like so horrible. So anyway, my sister goes and waits outside her house because I need to know for sure because this is a decision on whether or not this is going to, decide for the rest of my life what I'm doing. Am I going through with this divorce or am I going to take him back? He tells me he's not doing anything.
Right.
My sister, I'm one of 5 and we're all like tough, closed girls. My sister goes and sits outside this girl's house all day to see if Frank shows up. And she calls me. It was my little sister. She's like, I gotta pee. I can't stay here anymore. I'm like, please, just 5 more minutes. And he showed up with her. They go in her house. My sister calls me crying. She goes, he's here. I'm so sorry. I put my son in the car. He's about maybe 10 days old. I throw him in the car. I put on my sweatpants and I drive to her house, and now I need to see them together. Even though my sister goes, they're here. This is what he's wearing. I said, no, I gotta see them together. And he jumped out the back window, and I pulled away. And I said, you know what? Oh, wait, it gets better. I said, you know what? Let me drive around the corner and go back. I'm not done. And she made the mistake of getting in her car. So I blocked her car. She made the mistake more of getting out of her car.
You blocked her.
So I beat the crap out of her.
Oh.
And then I walked away from her. And I said, now I'm done. Now I can live with this. I got everything out I needed to get out.
You had that was your closure.
Talk about that's the best closure ever.
Yeah, breaking her jaw, closure.
I had to do that. And by the time I got home, Frank was waiting for me, and he said, go see a lawyer because this is not gonna work. I did. And that's what I did. And it was really hard. Like, going back when I was 15, I worked at a hair salon doing shampoo, and it's like a hair salon is like paint in place, right?
Yeah.
And I remember this woman saying how her husband left her and she was devastated. And I said, well, at 15, I asked her, well, what would you have done different? She goes, I would have beat her up, or I would have called her and I would have confronted her.
Yeah, it feels better to beat her up for some reason. It's just like that satisfaction of like, you took my man, but I'm going to take your teeth.
Right. And, it was very close to that, actually. But I don't suggest anyone to do that now. But what I do suggest is, as a woman, get everything out that you need to get out, because from here on in, you're going to have to drop these feelings. You're going to have to move on.
Yeah.
And any resentment and any regrets of not doing or saying what you had to say is going to be an anchor for you.
Right.
And it's going to be really hard. But you got to get that poison out. But don't beat up anybody because you're going to jail. That was 20 years ago.
It's a little different now.
Different.
Yeah.
It's a little different, and I'm not saying to do that. But if you have to break something in your house, if you have to take a bat and go out in your yard and beat the crap out of a tree, do it.
Yeah.
But get that shit out of your blood.
I think you can look back and say, you took the right steps. You tried to work it out.
You gave him a second chance.
You gave him a second
chance. You gave him the opportunity.
And then you made sure you weren't blind to it. I think a lot of women, they try to stay for their
like,
families.
I need to see it for myself. They see it and then they still stay.
Right. And then they still stay. And I think you're a good role model in the fact that like you I think value yourself, and you cherish yourself. I think that's important.
That, if you're not happy with your life and how it's going, that reflects on your kids, and knowing you had like a little baby and a 3-year-old home, like that's not healthy for them to be in that. So it's like so empowering to know that.
Every situation is different though. I don't judge a woman who stays in a situation when if you could stay in the situation, if it's better for you financially, for your children, if you're having a good life and you say, I don't care who he's with. Yeah. I love going shopping every day. I'm living in a mansion. My kids have everything they want. I don't give a crap who he's with all day. As long as he comes home and treats us like a human being. Listen, to each his own.
Oh, but that works for some, yeah.
That works for some, and God bless you if you have the best of both worlds, and if that's okay with you. But if you're going to fight in front of your kids, and here's where it all comes down to, you need peace in your life. And if the fact that your husband or you don't have the kind of relationship that you really, like this loyal and it's perfect and it's a fairy tale, if you don't have that and you can live with that, that's good. But it's how can you live with it? What's your quality of life? So mine wasn't good. I didn't come from that. Mm-hmm. I didn't want that. I didn't like the way he was treating us because he wasn't happy in the house.
He was lying a lot too.
And the lying, I can't stand a freaking liar.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm a different person. Everybody's different. Here's the thing at the end of the day. So I was fighting with him in front of my kids through all that. I was upset. He was upset. It was getting violent in the house. And I went to, after we broke up, I go to a therapist for the first time in my life. That wasn't too popular back then either. No. So I'm with a carrier and I have a 3-year-old. And here's what was the whole thing that changed my life. I was walking in. It was a family kind of place, like divorced kids, troubled kids. And this kid came out of the room before me, and he was punching the walls and he was kicking the walls. And his mother was behind him with a broken heart like I've never seen. You think a man can break your heart? Your kids can break your heart. And she was so broken, and her heart, and I walked in, I dragged myself in because I wasn't sleeping for weeks on end. And I said to the therapist, what do I do to not have my kids hurt like that? She said, don't fight in front of them. And from that day on, I ate miles of shit. I said not a word. Frank came over. I made dinner. I put a smile on my face. I made nice for the kids. And when he left, I would go in my closet and cry myself like into like whatever. But I would go in the shower and cry. But for my kids and for my life, and I made believe I was happy, and I became happy. And the nicer I was to him, the worse he got along with her. So in my head, I said, I'm not going to prove, I'm not going to make her right. I'm not going to give this woman one more thing. I'm not going to give this situation one more thing of my life. So you have to understand, when cheating relationships don't always work out. So now there's a lack of trust in that relationship, and there's animosity. And now that they're together, how good is it when you're not sneaking around? Is it still as great as it was when you were
No, now she's your problem.
right?
Yeah. She's not fun
Right?
anymore. Now she's
your
your problem. Yeah.
Now it's not fun. Now it's not fun. All of a sudden, she's not as pretty anymore. The sex isn't as good. Now, all of a sudden, it's what she looks around and says, what the hell did I just give up for this?
Yeah.
And if I would have kept fighting with him about it, I would have made him keep running back. But I was nicer and nicer and nicer. And the nicer I was, the worse I made it for her.
Excellent.
And after a while, you're just best friends. One day she calls me, she goes, you come and get him. I don't want him. I don't want him. I said, I'll be right there. He can come home whenever he wants. I will come. And he never forgot that. He can't come home. I could never come home again. But I wasn't going to tell her that.
Yeah.
So be the smarter woman. Walk away with a smile on your face. Show your kids, show yourself how strong you could be, and let it go. Cut it loose. It's an anchor.
It's an anchor. It's an anchor. Yeah.
Sinking ship.
Don't forget, guys, new clips air every Thursday. So see you next Thursday.
Hosted on dimlywit.com.
Even though we are not your best examples,
We're the best you've got.
so cheers, bitches.
Cheers. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for updates. And if you like this clip, share it with a friend.